Oh, thanks, Michael. Oh my God, you saved me. It was only 3 minutes. I've gone at least 20 minutes before with no sound. Oh my God. Let's do the shorter version of it. I said TGIF. I said, you know, first Friday in a long time, but also you could say that Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. I said grateful that the weekends here I get to spend time with the baby. Even though we spend time with her in the morning and in the afternoons once the nanny's gone. But yeah, so that's the shortened version. That's the 20-second, 3-minute version. And I said the first half of the live stream will be Bitcoin, altcoins that continue to bleed, stocks, and then on the second half we'll cover your chart requests. But we'll try to keep it shorter than. Hey, just put your chart request in. I got you. Just make sure to put the ticker symbol, the name of it, and what type of asset class it is, so I don't have to spend a lot of time searching and then get the wrong one, like I've done in the past, because sometimes there's multiple ticker symbols, multiple asset classes with the same one. So you got it. Yeah. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Hopefully, we have some fun along the way. And even though it's educational purposes only, we can poke fun at me at the very least of messing up the mic, right? Forgot to hit the mic. I had all this time, and I was watching it, and didn't hit the mic. So there we go. But we'll jump into it now. Caused a 1-minute delay talking about the 3 minutes that the mic was off. You should be able to hear now. Yep. I have to hit the mic on for it to work. So with that, Bitcoin, this is the Bitcoin weekly chart. So we've talked about the sell signals on the daily chart. We talked about the bearish divergence on the daily chart. We got some other Bitcoin charts to show you as well that we've been talking about all week. So this is nothing new. It's just we keep looking at it and talking about it on a daily basis, because is there new information? Does it look different, or does it continue to look the same, right? And so as of right now, it's continuing to look the same as far as the thesis of going lower. It's not reversing, right? It's not reversing. So we talked about, quick recap, we talked about on the weekly chart on Monday that this was right before the Sunday close for my time zone, right? The Sunday close, it was looking like a bearish engulfing candle. And then like a couple hours before, they pushed it up higher. And I mentioned that if we just close below this anyways on the very next candle, it's the same thing as the bearish engulfing candle, in my opinion. It's the same result. And of course, the algorithm is flashing a pending sell, which isn't confirmed until the candle closes, which is Sunday. So we still have Saturday, Sunday, 5 p.m. So still more than 48 hours until this candle closes. So whether it closes a sell signal or not, it's trending in that direction, right? It's below the trending dots. And it'll take out that pivot point at 112,200 most likely, unless they push it up again. But overall, still trending down in that way. Not only taking out this pivot over here, but taking out this pivot actually makes a lower low on the weekly chart. And then, of course, a lower high will confirm that, and then et cetera, right? So like here you had a low, and then you had a lower high, and then a lower low, lower high, lower low, then reverse, right? So even the local tops on the weekly chart had lower highs and lower lows on the weekly chart. So, and there's 30% corrections on the local top. This is at least a local top, but I can make a case several reasons why it's the top. I made cases why this could be the top, but the tops are always in hindsight. But I said it's at least a local top. And then in April, I was talking about the bullish divergence on April 11th on the daily chart. plus the buy signal. So you had bullish divergence forming down here, plus the buy signal on April 11th. I posted that chart, and then I had all the targets laid out to the upside, and then it broke through target 4 and went on to go make new all-time highs. We don't have a magic crystal ball. We're just playing the pivots. Swing trading, you're playing the pivots up, down, right? So whether it's a local top or the top always starts with a local top. So yeah. I have a probably like top of my head at least 5 reasons why price could go to 94,000, 95,000 ish, 93,000 ish, which you're going to see on a couple of these other charts. So that's the weekly chart. You can see the bearish divergences. You can see the RSI sell signal was back in September, and then it went on to make a new all-time high and create additional bearish divergence on the weekly chart. But in my experience, relative strength is leaving the building while price is making new all-time highs. And eventually price catches up to the relative strength. So when there's divergences, whether bullish or bearish, price usually catches up, and that's called foresight, not hindsight. So you're going to see a lot of hindsight, if not already. Like I said, some of the accounts, the bigger accounts out there, will call the bottom is in, the bottom is in, the bottom is in, literally all the way down, like they did in 2022. Some will flip sooner than others, and some will never flip. So they become forced hodlers. The ones that never flip bearish become forced hodlers. And that's, I don't think they care. Either they're not truly traders, like swing traders, or they're just, swing traders / investors / forced hodlers / DCA, whatever they can get clicks on the algorithms, right? Whatever the best clicks are at that moment. And bullish posts always outperform bearish posts. So when people say you're doing it for clicks, I'm like, if I posted $500,000 Bitcoin charts, I would get way more clicks. Way more clicks. If I posted $250,000 Bitcoin, I'd get way more clicks. So I'm kind of poking fun today. I'm like, $150,000 Bitcoin crash party instead of watch party. See if it gets more clicks, right? Just playing around instead of the normal boring charts, Bitcoin, altcoins, right? So just playing around with the influencing tagline today. But yeah, so let's keep going. That's the weekly chart. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Daily chart, still momentum to the downside, right? Still to the downside. Took up this candle close yesterday, I pointed out, took up this pivot point, and slightly took up this pivot point. It looks like on this exchange. Some exchanges might look a little bit different, but yeah, slight, because very, very close. I probably have to zoom really far in, but I'm pretty sure this candle also took out all 3 of those pivot points. So I pointed out lowest candle close since like July 5th, right? So you got multiple months worth of gains wiped out. If you had bought anywhere in this section, you're already up in your buy positions already underwater, right? Price came all the way down to 103,500. There's profit taking going on. Expect bounces along the way. Just like here, I was like, expect a bounce. I said any bounce. Down here, I was saying any bounce is a gift. Maybe not a gift for the greedy, but a gift nonetheless. And it did bounce to 116, right where it was kind of mapped out. Right here, it's talking about a bounce. The bounce price was at like 110. I said bounce here, and then it bounced there, and then circled this area down here. Like if it came down to 103,500, price came all the way down here. Could close down there, so we'll see where it closes. Somewhere in between 103,500 and where it's at right now. So if it's right around like that 106 area ish, and these fractals aren't to be taken as exact. Yeah, there are a lot of eerily similar bounces and stuff, and I drew them out conveniently near like target retracement areas and stuff like that. So if it works out, it works out. But don't take the fractal should never. I would never expect the fractal to work out exactly, right? So, and it hasn't. Like these squiggly lines didn't happen; it just came straight down. This bounce happened, but it's happening much faster than what I drew out, right? So, could these squiggly bounces happen over here? Sure, they could, unless it just keeps falling more and more. But so I put here, bounce here. Now I'm saying, will it bounce here, right? If it closes down here, somewhere in this area, and then will we see a bounce, and then the next move to that 93 to 95 area, right? So that's showing that it's on track still. Let's see. I've got this one. So almost hit target 3. Coming back into target 2. The probabilities are increasing that we're going to, especially if we start getting candle closes below target 2, then probabilities will be pretty high that we're going to hit target 3, and then we'll see about target 4. And again, target 4 brings you into that $93,000, $95,000 range, right? So there's another reason for my targets for there. The Wyckoff that I don't do. Then I got another one. Let's see, where's that one at? Oh yeah, this one. Let's see. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. This one brings you down to $94,000. Several reasons why, right? So, even if it comes back in for a retest, it's possible, and then comes back down like that, right? So it's possible it comes in for a retest. Maybe at least back into the trending dots, but could retest it and then resume lower, right? Came down like that, came lower, something like that, right? So we'll see how it plays out with that. So, like I said, several reasons why the $93,000 to $95,000, but we're always going to remain neutral. So we can read the charts as is and not what we hope them to be, right? So stay neutral to the best of your ability and trust what you see on the charts and try to block out the noise as much as possible. That's all you can do. It's all you can do. So looking at it from the daily chart, right? Someone was like, "Soul sucks." Pending sell signal. So we'll come back to that. Just getting distracted. Let's see. Let's go Ethereum. Ethereum doesn't have a pending sell signal on the weekly chart yet. Let's look at the daily chart. 3 targets have been hit so far on Ethereum. That's pointing out lower high. This is bearish divergence, right? So the higher probability is the lower high. Then there's a lower low. Then there's a lower high, barely, like really, really close to a lower high, right? And then a lower low, then a lower high, not confirmed, right? But once it takes out this pivot point over here at 37.50, then that lower high will be confirmed, and so on and so on and so on, right? So the Bitcoin and crypto buy the dip. The bottom is in, crew. Bottom is in. Bottom is in, right? I'm just gonna wait for a higher probability reversal, so I'm not wrong 9 out of 10 times. Higher probability of a reversal in my own personal opinion from staring at charts and stuff, just 8 out of 10 times I'm on the right side, but I'll never be 100% accurate. And it's higher or lower depending on the time frame, right? If I drop down to the 5-minute time frame or the 1-minute time frame, I'm not 80% accurate, right? There's so many more moves and fake outs, and so it just depends what time frame you're on as well. So just keeping all that in mind. I have SP 500 here, but yeah, had a sell signal, pumped back up, possible lower high, another sell signal. Again, like I've talked about in the past, the trading bot that's going to be rolled out has a filter to where any buy signals underneath the trending dots get disregarded. Same is true for any sell signals above the trending dots. So there's a filter for it. And then there's a take profit of like reversal candle. So this hasn't been rolled out yet, but stay tuned. Probably going to happen. I'm going to have more time this weekend, but hoping maybe we go live Monday. I was hoping this week we'd go live, but just time's getting away from us. But so there is a filter on the strategy. So I took the indicator that we've had for 3.5 years that was built on my strategy for 6 years now. Same strategy, same core strategy, but I've added tools and functions along the way as time goes on, like the trending dots, reversal candles, all that stuff, right? Divergences over time. Like I've been using divergences for like at least 6 years. So all this stuff. But on the indicator itself, like this is a 15-minute chart, but on the indicator itself, it has filters and stuff like that. So it's a full 100% fully automated strategy, right? You could set it and forget it. I never recommend that. I think you should always keep an eye on it, make sure it's triggering correctly. We do have some safeguards in place to help with making sure the software talks to the software that talks to the software that, because at the end of the day, it's not our software, it's our algorithms on TradingView software. And then you got like the broker exchange account software, right? So you got softwares talking to each other. And so you want to keep an eye on it, just make sure. So it's never, even the full automation, like it's smart to have safeguards, but also like, it's not, you still want to keep an eye on it, right? I still trust but verify it's working automated, right? You can turn it off while you're sleeping or you're busy, whatever, or sleep with one eye open, right? But so point is, these buy signals wouldn't be there if you're using the strategy with the filter on. It would just be, and so there wouldn't be a need for another sell signal either, right? So there'd be a sell signal. All these candles would be red because everything is still underneath. Or wait, actually, it might have done a sell close, depending on what your settings are. You can change the settings and then sell again, right? So there's different filter settings. So many ways you can slice the bread, but the buy signals wouldn't be there if you had the filter on, is what I'm trying to say. So similar to over here, right? So this buy signal would be valid. Come up here, that sell signal would happen, and then it would close out this position. If you didn't have like take profit along the way, and then this buy signal wouldn't happen, and so it just depends how you're running it. there's like endless possibilities you can run it. So I don't even pretend to think that I found the perfect settings. I think all the trading bots that are going to be rolled out have an amazing capability, and that's the goal. That's one of the main reasons for rolling it out too. Is if we get a big group of people all working the settings in multiple ways, I would assume someone's going to find an amazing setting, and hopefully they share it with the group, right? That's my goal. Someone finds an amazing setting where it's, has a huge monthly return on a regular basis every single month. And, we just watch the accounts grow, right? So that's the goal. That's the goal. Until then, myself, Apilix, Mike G, all be continued to run settings and back testing and all that stuff. So shout out to those guys. All go, right? Fake out to the upside, close the position, break down to the downside, come back up, and broke back down, right? So watching that, that'd be crazy if all these altcoins came back down to these lower levels. I mean, Rose did. Someone had me look at Rose. So talked about this on previous live streams for XRP. Similar thoughts. Breaking down. And weekly chart. I think these drawings are from the weekly chart. Yeah, the longer term bearish divergence that we talked about, sneaky lower high, breakdown of all the trending dots, sell signal below that longer term upward trend line from November 2024. So if the bull run was still on, it would still take some time for the ship to get turned around. So it doesn't look like XRP is going to just flip right back around, right? So take that for what it is. XCN has been in a bear market since January 2025. No, I mean, sorry. Since July 2022. This was a nice bounce, but it's been a bear market since then. Chainlink, nice bounce to target 3 out of 4. That was it. 3 out of 4 longer term targets hit. Technically, has been in a bear market since May 2021. If you look at it objectively and unbiased, never made a new all-time high, right? There's going to be bounces along the way, right? Bounces along the way. So we hoped for much, much higher. I hoped for much, much higher. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We got like the H bar, we got the XRP, and then we had some other nice bounces. Like this is, don't get me wrong, this is a nice bounce, right? But it's not the 10x we all hoped for, right? So you just have, if you just stay neutral, you can play the bounces and not be disappointed that price didn't go to the moon, right? I mean, I'm disappointed, but not like devastated. So near been in the bear market since January 2022. Cardano, it's been in a bear market since August 2021. Had a nice bounce. Ondo, December 2024. H bar, January 2025, right? Made new all-time high over here. So lower high. See if it makes a lower low over here. Kind of just like draw out the trend, right? So the longer term trend is down. Maybe this helps too. You can see the arrow on it. You're so funny, Jesse. F you, Jesse. Q&T. Should probably put the arrow on that one too. XLM. All-time high was November 2024. No, I'm sorry, it was not. Not an XLM. HBAR though. May 2021. That was a super awesome bounce though, and even my mom played that one. Super awesome bounce. SWE. December 2024 was SUI. Not sure what you're saying. Stream reposted. Did you repost the stream? I'm thinking that's my guess. Thank you. So, SUI, chop suey, SWE, right? Massive move to the upside all the way till December 2024. January 2025, you got a double wick top up there. And then, like I said, taking out these pivot points on the weekly chart is, how much confirmation do you need? Do you need the confirmation that it's below the trailing dots? Do you need the sell signal confirmation? Do you need a lower high confirmation? Do you need another lower high confirmation? Do you need lower low? How much confirmation do you need? Do you need to wait for the monthly chart confirmation? Because that'd be really late. 2-week chart. Do you need the 2-week chart confirmation? So on, so on, so on. 3-week pending sell signal on the 3-week chart. Not seen since March 2024. Price still went much lower. So anyways, Mana. I'm zooming out here, just kind of. There's not much really to report on all these, right? For it, right? Didn't hit the 200-week moving average. Got very, very close. Delete that. Never got back above 80 cents on Mana. If so, I thought it would be a rocket ship because it would be back above the 200-week moving average. It'd be back above, this weekly horizontal that got rejected multiple times over the years, right? It never did. So staying neutral, right? That, hey, if price does get back above the 200-week moving average, if price does get back over 80 cents, then we can start seeing some major moves. Case in point over here, October 2021 got over 80 cents and then it just flew, but it never did. So you just, by looking at it through a neutral lens, you can see that, hey, it didn't happen. So therefore, no rocket ship, right? Unfortunately, this sucks. We wish we could see rocket ships. It's much more fun. I get much more clicks, right? So Fetch.ai has been in the bear market since March 2024. Sorry if you're still holding this, but that's the name of the game. You shouldn't be risking money unless you're good at the entries and you're good at the exits. So if you're playing the buy signals, don't forget to hit the sell signal. And if you can't manage your emotions, if you can't stay neutral, if you rely on influencers or people on X or myself or YouTubers, blah, blah, blah. If you're making business decisions based off of other people, you shouldn't be doing it, right? I have 100% accountability for myself. 100%. If I do a great job, I pat myself on the back. If I make a mistake and lose money, I look in the mirror, right? So I look in the mirror no matter what. I either give myself one of those, I'm like, So 100% accountability. If you're trading your money and you're using real money and not paper accounts, flashing wins, and getting clicks and building the followers based off of BS, right? Buying the dip all the way down with your $10 or whatever it is, $15, right? That's even if you're buying the dip all the way down to have a badge of honor and try to be the hero. And if it's only $10, you're still misleading people. Even if it truly is real money with $10, you're still misleading people. So those are all possibilities. Or it's paper account, or just flat out liars. Who knows? But sand, obviously you would be out of your position. Never retested this, right? Never retested that. That thesis was wrong, right? So know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run, right? So if you're buying, don't forget to sell. If you're buying, don't forget to sell all the way, right? It'll keep you out of harm's way and dropping to what? 2 cents? Oh my God. So that's dead, right? That's dead. What else? Filecoin. Oof. Dot. Oof. AVAX. Oof. 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 Trump coin came all the way down to $1.50. That's insane. I mean, it's not. It's not insane. It's insane, people buying into narratives, but that was the pump and dump. Wall Street and corporations, including Coinbase. Oh, trading bot. Day trading over there. I should rename it to the day trading bot. Wall Street, corporations have all been doing this pump and dump scheme on Wall Street in the stock market for as long as I've known, right? They take a company public, they issue stock, they go public. It starts off way up here at $77, and then it dumps. Happened with Coinbase, right? When Coinbase IPO'd, I think his name is Brian. Yeah, Brian. Who's the owner of Coinbase or the founder of Coinbase? Yeah, Brian. Brian. I wanted to say Brandon, but yeah, it starts with a B. Brian. He sold his stock at the top when it IPO'd. So it's a classic pump and dump. They've been doing it forever. So instead of taking a Trump company public, they can just create a coin much easier, less red tape. They're not going to go to jail, even if they find it, illegal later on. It's unethical. They all do it. It doesn't matter what. I'm not political whatsoever because I think they're all the same. Blue, red. I'd be surprised if I found a politician who's not corrupt or playing the system or is power hungry or basically only doing it to serve the public, right? In my opinion, it's all about the money. In my opinion, it's they have to sell their soul to get into position. And some are worse than others, right? There's different levels. There's some better than others. Some of them probably sell only a little bit of their soul. But the point is, I have trust issues with politicians. And so it doesn't matter to me whether it's red or blue. In my opinion, they're all the same. There are some lesser of two evils, right? But at the end of the day, they're probably all working together secretively. I don't know. But I'll place my bet on the votes, but at the end of the day, I don't think my vote really counts. So it is what it is. But that's all you'll ever hear from me on politicians. So that I don't trust them, which means I don't trust the government, which means hopefully they're not watching this right now. I mean, I'm not like a prepper, hiding out in a bunker somewhere, trust issues or paranoid, but I try to keep my eyes open. So anyways, Trump coin, classic pump and dump. If you got caught in that and didn't sell, it's a tough lesson to learn. But how many times if it's your first time, that sucks. If you're learning your lesson again, that's your fault, right? If it's your first pump and dump that you've ever experienced, that sucks. Move on. It happens. And don't forget, forgive yourself, but don't forget so you don't get caught in another one. But if it's the second time getting caught in a pump and dump, I don't feel bad for you at all. You should look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why. Why do you keep making same mistake? Making one major mistake. I make small mistakes all the time, but making major mistakes with real money sucks, right? Making major mistakes with real money, the same ones, second, third, 4, 5 times, you probably shouldn't be doing what you're doing, right? So what else? Stocks. Let's look at gold, weekly chart, right? Let's look at the daily chart. So what I always say is gold itself is ultra bullish, hence the orange candles. It's also also known as overbought. Also, it's sometimes when the magic happens, right? So you see, as an inside joke, we have magic wands, because sometimes it's when the magic happens. Also known as overbought. And it can, as you can see with the orange candles, it can remain overbought for much longer than what people think. There are so many pictures and talk about people lining up to buy gold physically. Seems like that's like peak gold. Now it can go much higher, right? But with all the talk about it, all the news is finally getting, all the pictures servicing, all that stuff, and price going, like this last pump alone was like 30%. That rarely happens with gold, right? Bitcoin, that's not even a thing. But for gold, that's a major thing to happen since August 2022. So in 2 months, we saw 30%. Now we're seeing a wick, possible bearish engulfing candle, right? Possible. Longer term charts like the 3-month chart, the monthly chart, weekly chart, etc., are all also ultra bullish. So I'm not calling it top anytime soon, but what I would call is profit taking, right? So if you're in this position here and you made 30% unrealized gains, at what point will you lock in profits and wait for the next swing trade, which may or may not come, right? So if it were the top, right? If this was the top, I had targets from March 2024 to come up and hit 3,600. I had reasons for it to go to like 38, 3,900. And there's long shots of price coming all the way up here, right? Back in March 2024, I have those charts. I posted them. I've reposted them. But profit taking is going to happen. And eventually, price is going to come back and retest the 200-week moving average. Just like Bitcoin, just like Apple, just like XYZ stock, just like all the altcoins that you're seeing that have a 200-week moving average are coming back to hit Chainlink, right? We showed chain link. Came back and hit the 200-week moving average. They're all going to come back and hit it eventually. Could take years. Apple didn't hit the 200-week moving average for 5 years and then hit it earlier this year, right? And bounced hard, right? So eventually it's going to come back. So for me, I won't be buying up here at $4,000. No way. No way, no how. I'm not buying up here. I was positioning gold and silver back when I was posting those charts 2.5 years ago, right? And then you take profits along the way. And by the way, people buying gold standing in line, maybe they're doing it for cash purposes. So it's, not tracked, but it was fairly easy buying gold and silver online in 2021. So in 2021, you could also buy gold and silver online. They ship it right to your door. So anyways, I wouldn't stand in line for it. Is it as easy to buy Bitcoin or no? It's easy to buy paper, but the physical gold or spot Bitcoin, where it's your own wallet, is easier to buy than, it's faster to receive it into your wallet, I would say. So not easier to actually click the button, but to receive the physical spot in like your own wallet is easier for Bitcoin than for them to ship the gold to your house. So anyways, but yeah, this is starting to look like a bearish engulfing candle. So I'm sure there's plenty of buyers up here. That's just not me. And one day, whether this 200-week moving average is at $3,000, maybe it's at $4,000, one day it will retest it, and that would be a better buying opportunity than where it is at $4,221. So I know once it gets, no one thought it would ever go to 3,000 when I was posting it at 2,000. And then once it goes to 3,000, no one thought it would go to 4,000. Now that it hits $4,000, people are talking about $10,000, right? $15,000. And that is usually the peak retail top. So we don't know if this is the top or not, but a retracement seems to be happening at least. Like if we get bearish engulfing candle, at least it's going to retest the trending dots, and we'll see where it goes from there. But price just went parabolic, and you don't see gold do 30% moves that quickly, that fast. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this was marked out below $2,000, right? This target. So not only hit it, but it smashed through it. But this is starting to look like very top heavy, and personally, I won't be buying at the top. So I'm more of a weirdo who likes to buy down here and then sell into momentum. Sell into the wild photos that are out there on X, all that stuff. So, woo! Let's take a water break. Long time shooter, by the way. Good to see you back on here. Yes, sir. Otherwise, Crocs. Is that crypto stock? What asset is that? Let me know. Let me know all the details. But yeah, could be a bearish engulfing candle, right? Day's not over. Could be saved, very similar to Bitcoin, right? So we will see how it goes, how it plays out. But could be a bearish engulfing candle there. Silver, definitely looking like a bearish engulfing candle from up there. So again, great move, right? An amazing move all the way from there. 40% move. Doesn't happen very often. Don't forget to take profits, unrealized gains are not as good as realized gains, obviously. NASDAQ had the sell signal, reversed hard all the way back down, getting a bounce, retracement bounce, and now it's battling the downward trendward dots, right? So, yeah. VIX. Failing forward on the VIX, spiked up, almost hit target 2, right? Target 1 so far. It's a wild animal. What else? Oh, dollar. Dollar still going through a bottoming phase, right? Still going through the bottoming phase. So double bottom, possible higher low. Maybe we'll put another higher low, higher high, right? So take up this pivot point. The probabilities increase significantly of hitting target 2, etc., etc. When the Bitcoin mining stocks drop, they drop hard. They drop really hard, really fast. They pump hard and they dump hard. Marathon Digital, CLSK, Baritone, wild AI stock. TLT talked about the bottom being in on a macro, right? Seems like it wants to retest the 200-week moving average, which it hasn't done forever, right? The last time it retested it was February 2022. It's been in a crazy bear market since March 2020. A bear market since 2020, all the way to October 2023. What else? HUT starting to reverse after hitting 4 out of 4 targets, right? Hit 4 out of 4 longer term targets. IREN Limited, right? IRIS. IREN. Was that it? Was that it? We gonna make it? Is that it? Came back to the trading dots. Cypher mining. Is that it? Riot. Is that it? My GI hit 4 out of 4 targets. Is that it? What else? MicroStrategy. Boom. What else? Total 3. Let's look at that for fun on the weekly chart. Bearish divergence on total 3. So if a lot of the crypto assets, this excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, if a lot of the crypto assets that we just looked at are already below the 200-week moving average, there's probably only a few that really went on and pumped hard, but those ones could come back down to the 200-week moving average, similar to other assets, right? HODL, pending sell signal on the weekly chart. It happens fast. Like then there's a sell signal, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days later, we're into the gap areas. $27 is a big pivot area, big target area, right? So HODL, so much paper gap. It's going to get filled. All of it, I don't know. How much? We don't know. Break down this longer term trend line. Could be a back test, retest. If you look at the higher time frames in the weekly chart, the monthly had a pending sell signal on 10-year yield. 2-year yield was leading the way. Already had the sell signals on the monthly chart. Lower highs. lower lows, lower highs, break the 200-week moving average on the 2-year. 10-year is, could play out similarly. What else? SRTY. ANF has been in the bear market since May 2024 and came back and retested the 200-week moving average. Bounces and now is well below it, right? It's coming back much lower. So the rubber band was stretched so far to the upside above the 200, came back to retest it, and now it's going below it, right? So it's a possibility of these other stocks or crypto assets that go multiple deviations above the 200-week moving average, snaps back not only to the 200, but also goes below it, similar to Bitcoin in previous bear markets where it's gone 30% below the 200-week moving average. Now, ANF went up like 1,000-something percent, right? So I think that's higher than Bitcoin, right? That move was higher than Bitcoin. So anyways, what else? US oil, still in the downtrend. What else? SMCI, another one that went parabolic, similar to ANF, March 2024. Been in a bear market ever since. Came all the way back down to the 200-week moving average, bounced nicely, and now maybe it comes back down to 200 again. I don't know. We'll see. But after going up 2,200%, came all the way back down. It's in hindsight. So a local top starts with the top starts with a local top, right? You're not going to predict the top without a local top. So you got the bearish divergence, right? Similar setups. They all have similar setups when we're going for topping and bottoming patterns. Then you have the breakdown. Then you have the lower high. Then you have the battle, right? Battle, and then drop down. Similar to MicroStrategy. So it took some time, right? The initial pivot down to here, 45%. Then battles, keeps getting more longs, keeps trapping in more longs, and then another drop. And then people hold all the way down, right? And then they stop looking at the screen. So it went up fast, and then once it breaks over here on the lower high for like the weekly chart, it drops fast. So, but the weekly chart takes time to play out. So again, you got a local top up here, and down here in hindsight, it was the top, right? Once it starts breaking down here, the top. Yeah, I mean, you can say over here when it's hitting 45%, but some bros will maybe call it down here, and then down here they'll just say DCA. Just DCA, bro. While it drops. Look at the fundamentals. Just DCA all the way down, right? Not for me. Because once it gets to the top and you DC all the way down, 85%. 85%. No, thank you. There's never a guarantee it goes up and makes new all-time high. Just look at Intel from the dot-com bubble. I've talked about it. What else? Anything else jumps out? I don't think so. So what was it? CROX. If I can't find it quickly, I blame you because you didn't tell me what it is. is it Crocs? Because see, this is why I say that, Michael, because there's CROX, probably Crocs, but then there's also crypto, right? Crocs token. Then you go to all. There's just, I'm assuming it's Crocs Inc. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it since you didn't clarify, but here's the weekly chart. Peaked November 2021, came all the way back down to 200-week moving average, epic bounce, came back down, epic bounce, and technically, I mean, you call this a bear market since November 2021, has never made a new all-time high, but more definitions are like 20% in the last 6 months. So you could say it's only been in a bear market since these bounces, June 2024. Some say it's a bear market below the 200-week moving average. Some say it's a bear market below the 200-day moving average. So whatever definition you go by, right? October 2024. So it's been under the 200 for basically a year. So whatever your definition is, there's multiple ways you could look at it that it's in the bear market. So had an epic move 2020 to November 2021. And that's it. That's it. Hasn't made a new all-time high. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, so it just helps with the search if you just tell me what type of asset class it is, because it comes up that way. But once I search for it, it made sense. Yep. So I think that's it. Let's see. I think that's about it. So 10 a.m., we're right at 1 hour. Again, thanks for all of your support. Thank you for smashing the like button. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing this with all of your friends and family and social media. I'm sure you are. And thank you for putting in a comment, blah, 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 emoji, whatever it is. Helps the algorithms. Help me, help you, help me. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully you're on the right side of the markets and you're blocking out the noise. You're trusting what you see on the charts and you're not caught off guard. And if you are, don't get caught off guard again, right? Stay neutral. Don't get too bullish. Don't get too bearish. Sometimes I'm going to celebrate and it's going to sound like, when it's really bullish and things are pumping and we're hitting targets to the upside, I'm going to celebrate. But stay neutral the best you can. And when we're hitting targets to the downside, I'm going to celebrate, right? But overall, try to stay as neutral as possible. With that, have a good weekend. Get outside, touch some grass, get away from the charts for a little bit, not too long. And we'll see you on Monday, the next live stream. And with that, have a good rest of your day. Adios.